Carl Jung discovered something profound. You can see a person's true character by paying attention to just two things. This has nothing to do with their words, their achievements, or even their actions when they know people are watching. Jung found two specific psychological tells that expose who someone really is beneath their mask. And the most interesting part is, most people give away these secrets without ever realizing it. Picture this. You sit across from someone you think you know. A coworker, a friend, maybe even your partner. They seem open and honest. Still, something feels wrong. You can't explain it, but your gut says there's more behind the mask. Jung spent years studying what he called the persona, the mask we wear to hide our real self. He found that no matter how strong the mask, two signs always break through. Once you notice them, you won't be fooled again. These signs are not tricky tests. They are small, clear things anyone can spot. And when you see them, you will not only read others more easily, you will also gain a sharper view of yourself. But here is what makes Jung's discovery so unsettling. These two reveals don't just expose other people's character. They force you to confront your own hidden nature. Jung wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." And these two psychological windows will show you parts of yourself you have been avoiding. Before we open them, let's start with a small act of honesty. Go to the comments and answer this. What is one trait in others that irritates you beyond all reason? Arrogance? Insecurity? Laziness? Name your trigger. It is the first key to the puzzle. The journey into the shadows has begun. Let's learn Jung's first rule for seeing the truth. Most people go through life believing they can judge character through surface behaviors. They look for confidence, kindness, success, or charisma. But Jung understood that these are all part of what we can call the performance layer, the carefully constructed image we present to the world. The real person lives beneath this performance. And Jung discovered that no matter how skilled someone becomes at managing their image, two specific psychological patterns will always reveal their authentic nature. These patterns operate outside conscious control, which is why they are so reliable. Jung wrote, "Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. But judgment based on surface appearances is almost always wrong. True character assessment requires looking deeper into the unconscious patterns that people can't fake or manipulate." What Jung found was that character reveals itself not in what people choose to show you, but in what they can't help but reveal. Jung's first character reveal is what we will call shadow mapping. It is the art of discovering someone's true nature by observing who they judge most harshly. Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This unconscious direction shows up most clearly in our judgments of others. When someone criticizes another person with unusual, intense emotion, they are not just making an observation. They are projecting their own disowned traits onto that person. Jung discovered that what we hate most in others is often what we have buried deepest in ourselves. He called this projection the unconscious process of seeing our own rejected qualities in other people. The stronger the emotional reaction, the closer you are getting to their shadow. This isn't just a theory. It is a fundamental law of the psyche. Let me show you how this works in detail. Meet David, a successful architect who prides himself on his integrity and hard work. At every office meeting, David consistently complains about his colleague, Marcus. He calls him fake, manipulative, and a schmoozer. David's voice gets sharp when he talks about Marcus's easy charm with clients. His jaw tightens when he hears that Marcus closed another deal by playing golf. A surface-level analysis would say David is just competitive, or maybe a little jealous. But Jung would see something far deeper, a drama playing out in David's own unconscious. David's intense reaction to Marcus isn't about Marcus at all. It is about a part of David that he has violently rejected. Deep down, David wishes he could be more charming, more socially skilled, more at ease with people. He sees the effortless way Marcus builds relationships, and a part of him craves that skill. But David has built his entire identity around being the authentic, no-nonsense, hard-working man. In his mind, to be charming is to be fake. To be socially skilled is to be manipulative. These are the very qualities he despises in Marcus. So instead of owning his own desire and learning to integrate that social skill in an authentic way, he projects it. He attacks the quality in Marcus that he secretly wants for himself. His condemnation of Marcus is actually a form of self-oppression. He is rejecting a part of himself that could serve him well, both professionally and personally. This is why shadow mapping is so devastatingly reliable. When someone judges others harshly, they are always, without exception, telling you something about their own internal lore. The traits they criticize most are the very ones they have pushed into their unconscious. Think about your own life. The friend who constantly complains about selfish people. Watch them closely. Are they perhaps someone who consistently puts others' needs before their own, to the point of burnout and resentment? Their judgment of selfishness in others is a cry from their own exhausted soul, begging for permission to have needs of its own. Or consider the boss who attacks any sign of weakness in his team, who calls emotions unprofessional. Is he perhaps terrified of the vulnerability and sadness he has buried deep within himself since childhood? His harshness is not a sign of strength. It is a defense mechanism against his own unacknowledged pain. Jung wrote, "We cannot change anything until we accept it." Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. And every harsh judgment is an act of self-condemnation, projected outward. Shadow projection isn't always bad. This is an important point. Jung found that we also project the best parts of ourselves, the parts we are scared to own. He called this the golden shadow. Think of someone who always praises others. They call them brave, gifted, or full of confidence. Often, they are naming qualities they already have, but won't admit. They see their own hidden strength living in someone else. The clue is the emotion. Normal respect is fine. But when the praise feels extreme, almost like worship, it's usually projection. Picture a friend who never stops talking about how creative her favorite musician is. Yet, at home, she hides a sketchbook filled with her own great art. She's afraid to show it, so it feels safer to admire the artist than to be one. That's the power of shadow mapping. It shows both inner struggles and hidden talents. If you listen to who someone attacks and who they admire, you'll see who they really are. If shadow mapping is the first key to seeing a person's soul, Jung's second reveal is what happens when you put that key in the lock and turn it. This is what we will call the cracked mask test. It is the art of observing how someone behaves when their carefully constructed image is threatened. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But he knew that most people spend enormous psychological energy maintaining who they think they should be. This maintenance requires constant effort. And Jung discovered that when someone's persona is challenged, when their mask slips or their image is questioned, their authentic, unconscious character emerges in that moment of vulnerability. This is where you see the truth. Watch what happens when someone faces unexpected criticism, when their competence is questioned, when they are caught in a mistake. Do they become defensive and attack back? Do they deflect blame onto others? Or do they pause, reflect, and respond with authentic curiosity? Let me illustrate with Sarah's story. Sarah is a marketing director known for her calm, unflappable professionalism. She has built her entire career on being the one who never loses her cool under pressure. This is her persona. But during a high-stakes client meeting, the client harshly criticized her team's strategy, questioning Sarah's judgment directly. In that moment, Sarah's persona cracked. Her voice became sharp. Her posture became rigid. She interrupted the client, deflected blame onto her team, and made subtle digs at the client's previous decisions. The calm professional disappeared. In her place was someone defensive, insecure, and willing to sacrifice her own team to protect her fragile ego. Jung would say this single moment revealed more about Sarah's authentic character than years of polite, professional interaction. Under pressure, when her carefully maintained image was threatened, her true, unconscious patterns emerged. Jung wrote, "The foundation of all mental illness is the unwillingness to experience legitimate suffering." Sarah's unwillingness to experience the legitimate discomfort of being criticized forced her into defensive patterns that revealed her character. But here's where this gets truly powerful for character assessment. These persona breakdowns don't just show up in big life crises. They appear in small, everyday moments. When someone's phone dies and they can't check social media, watch what happens. Do they get restless or upset? That shows how much their self-worth is tied to their online image. If they're kept waiting too long, do they snap or act entitled? That shows their need for control and respect. If no one laughs at their joke, do they turn awkward or bitter? That shows their hunger for approval. You need to study these tiny moments. A shift in tone, a change in posture, a quick look on the face. These slips reveal more about someone's true self than hours of normal talk. Jung saw that real character isn't what people show when they're ready and polished. It's what comes out when they're caught off guard or under stress. The most balanced people show little gap between their mask and their real reactions. Their public side matches their private one, because they faced themselves and stopped pretending. Now let's bring the two rules together. When combined, they form what we can call the integration test. This test shows whether someone can grow or if they're stuck in old patterns. Here's how it works. When you notice someone projecting their shadow, reflect it back with curiosity, not blame. Then watch how they respond. That reaction reveals more about their character than anything else. Take David, who thinks Marcus is fake. You might say, "I notice you get bothered by people who show off. Do you ever wish you could be more outgoing yourself?" Two outcomes are common. The first is defensive. David snaps back, "I'm nothing like Marcus. I'm real. I don't need tricks to succeed." This shows he rejects her shadow and limits his own growth. The second is open. David pauses and says, "Maybe. I do wish I was better with people. Maybe I admire Marcus more than I admit." This shows he can face both sides of himself. Jung believed real strength comes from this kind of honesty. Those who face their shadow don't become weaker. They grow calmer, more secure, and more awake to who they are. This understanding allows for genuine connection rather than surface-level interaction. But Jung left a crucial warning. He wrote, "The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers." The ability to read character can become its own form of psychological torture if it is misused. I have seen people use Jung's insights to become what I call shadow hunters, individuals who use psychological knowledge to attack others' vulnerabilities rather than to understand them. This twists Jung's work. The aim isn't to tear off someone's mask. The aim is to make a space safe enough for them to lower it on their own. Use these insights to connect, not divide. Let your understanding of people lead to compassion, not judgment. The deepest part of Jung's way of reading character is the mirror effect. At some point, you realize that the people you judge are reflecting parts of you. The ones who upset you most often show pieces of your shadow. The traits you admire in others often point to your own hidden potential. In this way, every person becomes a teacher. Every meeting is a lesson. Every judgment is a chance to know yourself better. Jung wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." The ultimate purpose of reading others' character is to awaken to your own. You are not here to be a master analyzer of human nature. You are here to become more fully human yourself. Your journey toward consciousness starts with seeing clearly, and it ends with becoming who you truly are. If this journey has resonated with you, if you're ready to see your reactions as information about yourself, then make your final declaration. Join the others who are choosing conscious self-discovery. Go to the comments and write, "I am the mirror and the face." It is a declaration that you understand this two-way street, a commitment to seeing yourself as clearly as you see others. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. The real work is just beginning.